women that used to stop her in the street. My mum was white and blonde, by the way, and she used to have like women stop her in the street like, oh, you're trying to make your kids more white, and my mum's like, they were just born this way. And I felt so sorry for her when she told me that, but it's one of these things where my hair has always been something like, even when like I was like 10 or 11, I was like obsessed with Zoe Ball, who was on like a white blonde woman with short hair. And I went to my mum's hairdresser, which was white, and I was like, I want my hair cut like this. And they're like, oh, we can't do your type of hair. And I was like, okay. So then my mum told my dad to take us to a black hairdresser. And my dad's like a black British man, like growing up in Harlesden, born in Harlesden, like, again, he's got none of it, like his mum passed away unfortunately before we were born, so he's got no black like women in the country or in his like family that are here. So my dad had no idea. He might be a black man, but fam, he has no idea about hair. So, and whoever the shop that they took us to, like, they knew that my dad had no idea about hair because they charged my dad, yeah, like, £200 to get my sister's hair done at Cane Rose. I swear to God, my dad there was like, lovely stuff, take my money.
That is a finesse.
Wow. No, my dad got finessed properly because he had no idea. As a black man who's always had short hair, he had no idea what to do. And I think, so then instead he told them he only paid for my older sister's hair because her hair is like a lot thicker than mine. And he said, oh, just give her a haircut. And the women chopped my hair off. Like, I had like a short cut, it was awful. Like, but then my hair has always been short, then long, then short, then long. And I had it short when I had my little Rihanna haircut. And then I grew it back out again when I was in Peru, came back, cut off again. After that I went like celibate for years and I stopped dating people, and then I realised I was queer, and I think it's only in my queerness that where you're obviously dating women romantically and you're creating these relationships, both platonic and romantic, but you learn actually how to appreciate and love your body and your hair. And I don't just mean like your hair and your head as well, your whole body hair. Like, fam, we need to have a conversation about body hair and period because we don't talk about that. And you see that you get told if you only see one representation of hair, and then you dating women and you're seeing raw hair comes in so many types, and it's like, wow. But long story short, I really like my short hair. I love it. I think it's fun. I cut it off all the time. I like going to the barbers as well because, like, but even that experience going to a barber's as a woman. And it depends however I'm dressed. If I go dressed like femininely, I'm treated one way, but like my barber's calm, but the other guys are in the barbers. If I'm dressed femininely, it's like, oh, sweetheart, sweetness, like, come sit down. Whereas if I'm dressed more masculine, yeah, and I go take my chair for the appointment that I booked, they're like, fam, mum was here first, you know. And I'm like, sorry babe, I booked an appointment.
Your hair looks amazing.
Honestly,
so good. So good.
I was gonna say, with me, I think my hair, oh Lord, the journey. I grew up in an African household, as I said. You gotta be smart. Like, when you're going to church, you have to factor in that. So my mom had a lot of control of our hair, me and my sisters. So there was really no say. And also my dad, he had a say as well in our hair. So I think for the longest time growing up, we had no say. And then when we came to this country and my mom was just like, yo, you guys are growing up now. You gotta take charge of your own hair. I was looking to her like, you want my sisters to touch my hair? No, that's not gonna happen. And it was always braids. And then one day I said to my mom, I don't want braids. Like, it pulls on my hair, I don't like it, I want an afro. And I remember like this whole deliberation going on in our room. Like, you know, that quiet, like that back study or something, like everyone's just doing the hair. My mom was just doing my hair like, like she's going in, like pushing your head back, like I don't want to do this. Your dad is not gonna be happy, like. And I'm like, just trust me. And I just remember walking out on the corridor and my dad looked down at the afro and he was just like, you want to do that? You've done it now? And I was just like, you're not even going to tell me I'm pretty? Like, come on. So ever since that day, it's been an afro.
Yes, love it.
Like, I just felt like I wanted to go for the, you know, like Beyonce and like Foxy Brown type, like jig. Like, I wanted that. I knew that for myself. I just wanted that for myself. And I want my afro, like, the bigger the hair, the closer to God type thing. Like, I want, like, my head to just keep being bigger, and it's even more deep-rooted into, like, the drag culture as well, just because I've always had a love for makeup, and before I knew what RuPaul was, like, to just see so much representation on, like, a TV show like RuPaul, I feel at home. Like, I want to be that extra. I want to be extra. Like, I want people to be like, their eyes hurt and their eyes rolling. Like, you know those stares that those aunties give you in the back of the church, like they know they want to try it. Because aunties are inspiration, like, for real. Like, I want the dark black lip liner and everything.
And the gold lipstick.
The gold lipstick, without, appropriating it too much, because you have to respect, But, like, for real, that's a lifestyle. Like, I really just want to experiment even more.
Talking of experiment, did your parents ever experiment on your hair when you were younger?
I think my mum's like way of experimenting was like, okay, my mum's a white woman who never expected to marry a black man. She has 3 kids with all different hair types, and like, with her hair being white and straight, like, you can not comb it for days and it's fine. She does it with our hair now, it mats. And my mum gets stressed and she just cuts it out. So like, I remember I was having like just cutting out our hair, like middle bits, and like, then I think when we were like 12 or 13, my older sister and I, because we had more thicker hair types, I don't know how we got to getting our hair relaxed, but fam, my hair did not need to be relaxed. Like, I look back at it now and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But my older sister and I relaxed our hair for like years. For years. You see them ones who were sitting in a Jamaican hair salon, yeah, and it's burning. Then I was burning, I'm like, yeah. Like, you want it to burn more, and I used to be like, it's weird, I had this like weird proud thing of having like the scabs on your scalp here for where it's burning. And I'm like, I firmed it, like I firmed that burning. And I think that experimented in that sense. Now I experiment with hair colours, like, my hair is always different. Every 2 weeks at least I'll dye it, different colours, different cuts, and yeah, it's just fun. I think it's really a great way of like, I don't really experiment with makeup too tough because I don't really know how to do it. Someone teach me, but like, somebody teach me to be buff. But no, my hair is a way for me to experiment and kind of express myself, because it changes my mood, and I think that it's just fun. I think hair is a really fun thing to play with, because you're always told to conform for so many years, so why not fuck it up?
I did more experimenting, I'm not gonna lie. I did more experimenting than my parents and my mom, my sisters did. Like, one time I came like home from school, and we're just having dinner, and halfway through dinner I just stood up and I walked to the bathroom and I was just like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, shaved off half my eyebrows. And then you're gonna get cussed by your big sister, so you're trying to style it out in your head. So like, I run into our room next door and grab like blue felt tip. At the time, which in my head, because the color blindness, like, it was just like, yeah, I pretended that it was black in my head. And then I just casually sat on the table. I just remember being like, and my big sister just being like, we've done it again. Like, I'm crazy, for real. Like, I do more experimenting. I was that person. Like, I love makeup. I don't care about not wearing makeup, but I do care too. Like, I want to have that freedom, and for me, beauty is more about freedom, and my hair expression is more about freedom. The most I've done is like shave the back of my hair, because everyone went through that phase, Rihanna. No major like coloring, like I color most of my wigs when I first started wearing wigs. But yeah.
96.
Because we had our hair shaved off as well, and like, you dare not, like, they counted the inches. You dare not come to school with your fingernails like a certain length.
Yeah.
And they would like line you guys all up in the, like, on Friday, everyone had to stand in a row. They check your hair, your neatness. It's almost like one of those elegant schools, like where you go to.
This finishing school.
Didn't I come to just learn? Didn't you come to educate me?
But I will say though that it's not still, whilst it's not to that extreme, it's not far off from what's happening in school still though.
Really?
Not at all. Like, there'll still police, like, especially black hair period. Like, you see how the thing in the paper the other day about one black boy his hair was too short. Fam, it's either too long in dreads or it's too short because it's got an actual shape up. Like, make up your mind. And it's like they're consistently policing people's hair, like especially women with afros, girls with afros in school, they're telling them it's too big in class. Like, get bigger chairs then, if you're that depressed, like, buy bigger chairs.
Oh my days, Lenny Henry. Oh my, do we expose this man?
Expose. I don't know the story, but expose.
I feel like I'm having like a casual conversation with Steph. Like, literally,
go for it.
We went to an event and Lenny Henry, like, my heart is shattered.
Tell it, come on.
Lenny, so we didn't even realise it was Lenny Henry until he sat down.
Honestly,
yeah.
He literally like walked past us. I'm just like getting acquainted, And then he's like, "You're just gonna sit there with your big afro. No one's gonna see you with that afro there." I'm like, "You're not gonna tell me I'm pretty? Like, why are you like grilling me?" I just thought it was just like a casual black man grilling me. It's just the way he said it, like, "You're just gonna stand there."
It's like he policed you. Like, he didn't even say it as a joke. He was very
Literally.
serious. We were just like,
"Who's gonna see you behind that big afro?" And then he sat down and like Steph whispered to me, "That was Lenny Henry." And then like Kelechi walks in and she's just like, "You let him just sit," like she just cussing, like, I would have told him about himself. I was just like, "Child, I didn't even know it was Lenny Henry. Like, who is he? Like, sorry, like cancelled. We're cancelled." It's just the way he said it though. It was just very evasive and just no.
yeah.
It just very uncomfortable. And everyone looked around as well. And I was just like, for you as a black woman to just do that.
To like police another black woman, it's like we get enough of it from outside of our communities. We don't need to have that within our communities in terms of our hair and our beauty to be policed by other black men as well.
I only had one wig in that day as well. Like, you don't see me with 3.
But
It can be bigger.
okay, so I've got one more question and then we'll open the floor up to questions from the audience. So my last question is, what breakthroughs or achievements do you feel you've achieved so far? Another broad question.
So much. Like, I have a degree because I wanted a degree, and I am more open to learning as well. I am so comfortable in my skin and still like open to learning new stuff about myself. I'm like still exploring sexuality, having more conversations with my parents and my family about that, even though some of them are still blocked. Honestly, Mia knows. But for real, like, I'm just learning to be comfortable in my skin 100%. It's still something I'm like learning and accepting, so the achievements are already there. And like managing myself, that's such a hard thing. Like, when I first started being a model, literally, no lie, Nicole was like a savior. Like, I remember being like, "Nicole, I need help." Nicole was just like, "I can help you whenever you need me. I could just pretend to be your manager, like, la, 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 la." And she was just like, she was so dope. You need to find a community of people.
Yeah.
100%, like, aggressively do that. That's it. That's
Girls
my
going
biggest
international now as well. No, you're doing really good things, really good things. What do you think?
It just sounds mad cheesy, but I feel like my biggest achievement is my mentees. I think when you work with people for so long and you kind of see them from when you first meet them and then the growth they come to from now, it's just like I love them to death. Like, I quit my job like in July and I still see them. Like, a couple of them are here now and it's just like, you still see them. And it's because it's not a job to me, and I love that. I love the fact that I can just be myself again and hopefully help them to equally want to be themselves. I think that the past year, even from last Black Girl Festival, like, I chaired my first panel. I'd never even done a panel beforehand, and like since then, like fast forward, like last week I was flown out to flipping Italy by Gucci to go and talk on a panel there. I was like, Gucci gang, listen, that was my whole future. I was here like, Gucci. But like, real talk, I think for that, because for me, I'm a youth worker, like, and I've just so happened to luckily be put in spaces and around people and have opportunities where I can speak and I do have a platform. But that was never my intention. My intention was always, I just wanted to do youth work. That's just what I like to do. And through that, I've had a lot of great opportunities. So I was really, like, I thought it was a catfish. Like, I had some random white women DM me on Instagram, like, yeah. I was like, she was like, "Can I have your details for the opportunity?" And I was like, "Okay." And I joked and I was like, "They better be paid." And then I get an email from Gucci and I was like, "Rah." I was like, "Okay, wow." And like, the whole talk was just about youth work and like activism, engaging young people. And now they've like brought me on to do, and it's weird, like since I quit my job because it wasn't aligned with like how I want to work with young people, better opportunities open up from that point. And I think that my proudest achievement is actually learning to say no. and say yes to myself. It's so easy. I very easily could have stayed in my previous job because I wanted to please the people I was working for because they were my friends, but I found the job wasn't for me, and I think I'd be doing a disservice to myself if I stayed in that because it wasn't good for my mental health. And I was like for me to take a break off, like I'm taking a month off and just going to Brazil to spend time with my family, and just like I'm visiting French Guiana, which is where my dad's family are from, and he's never been there before, so we're going together for the first time. And like that trip, I know in itself is going to be like mad emotional for me in terms of finding myself and finding more roots to my family. And I think we're always consistently told like you've got to be busy all the time, and I'm actually saying nah, don't contact me, don't email me. I'm taking a break for myself, and I'm going to come back and I'll restart again back in December when I come back. But yeah, I think that's my proudest achievement. I'm, out there.
That's so good. You're doing really amazing things, and I think as black women, online, I'm just seeing every day it's like a new achievement that's being unlocked, and I think it's amazing. So we are going to open the floor up to questions.
Be agreeing with them by not saying anything. You're complicit in it, and you're therefore allowing them to make sure it's okay to have conversations. But yeah, so it's more so what you can do is just call people out on their bullshit and not be afraid to do that. And if it loses your customer, find another one. Like, it's that simple. Don't allow your barbershop to be a place where black women are a playground for all these type of insults and because black women, as you can see, are cutting their hair now. And I'm telling you, no word of a lie, my barber gets so much business from women because they know that, because I post them off my Instagram, and people are like, oh, if Tanya says that's an okay place for me to go to get my hair cut, I'll go too. Like, there's been women that travel from Birmingham to get their hair cut by my guy. So most of his clientele are now women because he's had that sign off to be like, my space is a safe space because he makes it that space. So if you want to get your business up, make it open to black women.
Checking out the stalls, all the talks, like it's been crazy busy, and there are so many beautiful faces here, so yeah, I'm happy. Thank you for being here, NAO.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me. I'm always scared, like, is anybody going to turn up? But it's nice to see that the room is full. This is great.
So we're just going to talk about your career so far, the journey, how it's been, and we're going to open up the floor for questions at the end, and then we're going to pick out the raffle winners for all the prizes that I've got sat next to me. So let's just get straight into it. So take us to the beginning. What was it like growing up Nottingham and then moving to London?
So I was born in Nottingham, and I moved to Wales for like a couple of months, and then basically I was brought up in East London. My mum is a single mum, she's a social worker, and there was like 5 of us, so I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I grew up in a house full of music, so basically from every room was like music pouring out of every space, like different styles. So my brother was into like pirate radio stations, so like jungle and garage and MCing, and my sister loved R&B, like from, obviously like it was big from America, so that's what my sister's favourite. Mum loved lovers rock and gospel, so it was literally like everything, and I was the youngest, so I soaked up all the music, and I always loved to sing, and I play the piano as well. And as I was growing up, I kind of sung around my local area, across like East London, like and like Walthamstow and Leytonstone and Stratford, and basically when I got to like 18, I made a decision that I was going to become a singer because I was studying law at the time, but I was like, I think if I die tomorrow I would want to sing, and so I just kept following my nose, and I'm here now.
So, yeah, round of applause. So what was it like studying law? Did you do it to a university sort of level, or did you drop it before you decided to plunge like right into music full time?
Unfortunately I dropped it. I was doing it for A levels, and I think it was something really for my mum because, as you know, like if you're, well, my parents are from the Caribbean, but it's true for like African heritage as well. Like, you know, your parents want you to like do something like properly, like wash a proper job. And when I was telling my mum I wanted to be a singer, obviously she was just like, how's that going to pay your bills? So I think at 16, I was like, I'll study law, even though I had not really that much interest in it, kind of to please my parents. And so I did that, but I got into the top music conservatoire in the world, which is the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. And I think that was enough to persuade my mum that I could go on to do a music career instead of law.
Did she back you the whole way from that point on?
She did, but she used to send me emails every week to do like online law degrees whilst I was studying music. And I actually think it was only up until last year that she finally stopped sending them to me.
That's amazing. So, like, what were the sort of barriers you faced initially, if at all, when you started studying at Guildford?
Sorry, it's Guildhall, but
Guildhall.
It's okay. So basically, I went to study jazz music in the Guildhall, and it was a really strange place to be because obviously jazz comes from black origin, but the Guildhall School of Music and Drama is really middle class, and a lot of people go there who've had like private education, which means that everybody there studying is actually white. And so going in to study jazz, I was expecting to see black people and black teachers, but there was actually only 2 black people on the course. That was me and my now best friend, because we had to find each other.
Stuck together all the way.
Yeah. So it was difficult being in that space. It was really confusing because I was like, but why are there no black teachers? I didn't quite understand, and it felt really cliquey, you know. But I just kind of made my way through there. It was still a good place to learn, obviously, because they have like some of the best teachers in the world. But I always remember this strange thing that happened, which was basically there was a jazz community outside of just kind of in London, and they focused on raising black children to come in and like have experience with musical instruments, and they would do jazz lessons with them and stuff. But they actually became really big, and they did like amazing shows around the world. And I remember people at the Guildhall being really jealous of them and being like, why do they get the opportunities and stuff? And I always remember sitting on the bench just thinking like, look around, we're in this school and you've got the best opportunities in the world, and basically all these black children on the outside like scraping, trying to like find these instruments, trying to get gigs, but you're so privileged. So it was definitely a one-sided point of view going there, and it was tricky.
And then coming out of there, sort of defining your sound and releasing music for yourself, what steps did you take to say, I don't want to be boxed into certain genres and I just want to make music that expresses me?
Well, I think that so I found it really difficult to find other British musicians that had gone the path. I think like we can all probably like count them over the last 20 years, like black female musicians that have actually gone on to be like the leaders in their field and recognised, and so it was really hard to carve out a path. I knew that like I had a different sound in me, and I knew I wanted to make it slightly alternative, so it just didn't fall into like just straight up like singing R&B music, because that was already been done, obviously. And so I made a point of going against the grain a little bit and just kind of like carving my own lane just over here. And I don't really know how I did it, to be honest. I just kind of just messed with the production, basically.
How did you sort of go about deciding like who to work with and who was already out there that you thought would complement your sort of sound?
So I basically just ended up working with my friends who I work in a studio in Stoke Newton, and there's loads of like people in there just like on the hustle making beats all day. So I kind of just worked with them and just kind of helped form a sound together. But there wasn't anything profound about it. at all. It was just like a lot. You just have to put out a lot. You try, and then every now and then something sticks, like a good song, like Bad Blood came from that, or Fall to Love came from that. But a lot of bad songs came from that also.
And then what was it like sort of when you, have you got to a place now where you sort of feel like I've arrived, like I've made it?
I'm not really sure.
Or what do you think that point will be? What moment do you think where you're going to look around and be like, okay, like I'm here?
When I get a Grammy.
Amazing. And like sort of like recognition and like measures of success, like being involved like with the Mobos and just trying to, obviously awards are nice, people like compliments, people like to be told that things are good, but for that, like, would you say winning awards are a measure of success?
I think it's really important for you or I as an individual to carve out what success means to you. For some people, getting awards and getting nominations is how they value success, which is fine. And for some people, like something just simple, just getting out an album, having like, I don't know, 10,000 streams, like that's their idea of success. So I think it's just important to value what it means to you. I think what success means to me is like, it's basically having a career that can span over a long time, and it means probably taking my time about it. And so like, I don't imagine that I'll be like in the top 10 anytime soon, or be getting those awards, but maybe in 10 years from now, maybe I'll get there, but I just want my career to last as long as possible, and just to take my time and for it to keep growing a little bit bigger each time, and that's what success would be for me.